Ladies and gentlemen, you welcome to this edition of the Primetime News on Equinox Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. The Republic of Cameroon celebrates what position political leaders have qualified as limping unity, severely affected by the socio-political and security tensions hitting the northwest and southwest regions of the country for close to 3 years now. Opposition political parties, the major ones, boycotted the May 20 National Day celebration, marked by the crisis in the two Anglophone regions of the country. And out of Cameroon, at least 9 persons have been confirmed dead after a boat carrying footballers and fans capsized in the western part of Uganda. Those were our top stories. We begin in Kumba in the Meme division in the crisis-hit southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, where streets remained deserted today while the celebration of the National Unity Day was going on very timidly, with a very low participation rate at the ceremonial ground in the town of Kumba. And of course, the people respected the traditional Operation Ghost Town, respected in Anglophone Cameroon, every Monday within the context of the Anglophone crisis that has continued deepening for close to 3 years. Today's Manjikan Gabriel has more.
May 20 in Kumba, headquarters of Meme Division. Major part of the town was quiet as inhabitants observed the traditional ghost town called by separatist fighters. No commercial motorcycle or vehicle were spotted all over the town. If the whole town was quiet, it was business at the ceremonial ground in Kumba at the Commercial Avenue, as the arrival of the senior divisional officer Ndong Chamberlain kicked off the 47th edition of the National Day celebration in Kumba. The event, that was void of speeches, started with the award of recognition medal to different persons who have recorded outstanding results in their different offices. Out of the 25 beneficiaries, just about 5 turned out. After the award of the medal of recognition, the military march past took center stage. And was closely followed by the students of the Higher Teachers Technical Training College HTTTC in Kumba. The CPDM Meme 1A and B also trailed the dignitaries who were at the grandstand. It will go down to the records that no primary or secondary school took part in the march past in Kumba, May 20, 2019. Highlight of the celebration in Kumba was the handing of gifts to some internally displaced persons of the town. Most inhabitants remained indoors all day as a result of gunshots which were heard in the early hours at Mbongerot and later in Fiango under Kumbatu subdivision.
And despite the injunction by Southwest Governor Bernard Bilai urging traditional rulers in the Southwest region to take part in the May 20 National Day celebration with their subjects, the chiefs were simply absent, and reports indicate that just a single chief was present at the ceremonial ground in the Southwest Regional Headquarters, Boya, and the celebration of the National Unity Day was equally marked by the Anglophone crisis in neighboring Limbe and other parts of Anglophone Cameroon, as Derek Jato reports.
May 20, 2019 in Buya, the National Day celebration is going on, though the Buya chiefs have boycotted the ceremony and only the paramount chief-elect of Buya answered present. But the Southwest governor is happy for one thing, at least. it has taken place.
We are all witnesses of the fact that everything went well. No incident, and I want you to first make the echo of the celebration is well.
Mr. Bernardo Kaliabila, the Southwest Governor, later called on the Southwest population to collaborate with the military and send their children to school.
Stay calm and vigilant as usual, and to collaborate with the forces of law and order who are there to protect them, and to sensitize our youth to go back to schools, and to also sensitize those who are being misled, who are still in the bushes, to drop their arms and listen to the appeal of the council.
In Limbe, the divisional headquarters of FACO Division, the May 2019 celebration was presided at by Mr. Engamba Emmanuel Lidu, the senior divisional officer for FACO Division.
Commissaire Samuel Ekobi, in the name of the President of the Republic and by virtue of the powers conferred on us, we decorate you with the Medal of Officer of the Cameroon Order of Merit.
Then the military march past. The chiefs of Limbe are here. Many say the civilian march past was not only colorful, but also had messages all preaching the need of unity at a time that the very foundation of unity is questioned. Apart from schools, organizations, some political parties also took part.
The May 20 National Unity Day was equally celebrated in the Northwest Regional Capital and other parts of the Northwest region, but the celebration was far from what often took place 3 years down memory lane. It was definitely or effectively affected by the Anglophone crisis, and of course the celebration was quite a timid one amid tight security as a result of the unstable socio-political and security tensions in the two Anglophone regions of the Republic of Cameroon. We'll be bringing to you images of the celebration of the May 20 National Day celebration in the Northwest region in a subsequent news editions. Now we come back here to the economic capital of Cameroon, Douala, where the May 20 National Unity Day celebration took place at the Valley Beseke ceremonial ground, chaired by Littoral Governor Samuel Dieudonné Ivaha Dibois, and the celebration took place hitch-free, as Innocent as a report.
Unity in diversity, a major asset of the Cameroonian people in their determined move towards emergence, is the umbrella of the 47th edition of the National Unity Day, celebrated in Douala, Cameroon. At the Douala Beseke ceremonial ground, the military and civilian march past was highly watched by Cameroonians with mixed feelings.
Il n'y a plus, franchement dit, il n'y a plus, on ne peut pas faire l'unité.
To Agno Otto, unity does not exist any longer in Cameroon, especially as parts of the nation has Cameroonians living in bushes and forests, others on exile, thousands seeking refuge in Nigeria under deplorable living conditions.
Les filles du Niger qu'ils apportent à manger, or qu'ils avaient des plantations de café, de cacao, ici, ils ont fui la guerre.
Only the head of state, he knows, can bring back to life national unity through liberation of separatist leaders, with frank dialogue with them in order for peace to return, as nothing can be constructed amid radicalization.
La tête pensante même, ce sont eux, les Sisikou là, tout ça. Il faut les libérer. Nous sommes de cet avis qu'il faut les libérer pour décrisper la situation.
A day like this to Agno Otto should be used to brandish solidarity with those suffering from the armed conflicts in Anglophone Cameroon and the Boko Haram hostilities in the far north region.
On devait être plus solidaire un jour comme celui-ci pour consolider l'unité nationale, parce que dans le désordre rien ne peut être construit.
Same opinion is shared by Ndeng Angeline.
On a mal parce que ça ne va pas du tout.
She says Unity had gone to coma and it needs to be resuscitated by government officials such that it prevails like Bacalais. What has caused unity to go unconscious is the Anglophone crisis, which needs to be speedily terminated.
Le Cameroun était d'abord un pays de paix et nous voulons que ça reprenne encore de la même sorte.
These views of non-existence of unity today differs from those of other Cameroonians who say everything is under control and moves normally in the country.
Non, sinon il y a unité au Cameroun, il y a sinon il n'y a pas de soucis.
Oui, il y a l'unité. Peut-être cette
Madame Bongo Nicole, who says unity is all about Cameroonians living together without discrimination, believes there exists national cohesion or unity despite attempts by some Anglophone Cameroonians to divide the nation. To her, this has not threatened the unity Cameroon enjoys, even the thousands displaced.
Il n'y a pas de parti pris en fait.
She, however, holds that whatever problem that Cameroon faces could be buried.
C'est sans problème.
Justement, c'est pour que cette fête.
Another Cameroonian, Yonjo Jean Bosco, hopes to see May 20 serve as an example of a united Cameroon amid problems the nation faces to avoid disorder in the country.
Sud-Ouest, Nord-Ouest, nous voudrons un Cameroun uni et indivisible.
Speaking to this reporter, the attendees stressed that Anglophones are part of Cameroon that strive to remain united and indivisible despite the armed conflicts in the northwest and southwest regions. Their hope is that peace will quickly return through dialogue announced by the Prime Minister during his peace tour in Anglophone Cameroon recently.
President Paul Biya presided at the National Unity Day celebration at the May 20 Avenue in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. And of course, one of the highlights of that celebration at the May 20 Avenue in Yaoundé was the high participation of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, political party. And the party of President Paul Biya deployed over 6,500 militants in the absence of major opposition political parties like the Social Democratic Front, the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, the Cameroon People's Party, the CPP. These political parties, major opposition political parties, were absent at the different ceremonial grounds in different parts of the Republic of Cameroon, and they are simply protesting against the bad state of the country's unity, severely threatened by socio-political and security tensions in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. And Barrister Ndong, Secretary General of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party, spoke to the Inside. Take a listen.
This issue of national unity, which we are celebrating every 20th of May, has been, in fact, destroyed. It does not stand the test of time again. The unity between the Anglophones and the Francophones has fallen apart. The center is no more holding. So therefore, it has been compromised, and we don't see the necessity. The values that brought this unity have been destroyed. The values that brought these people together has been destroyed by the ruling class. Look at the northwest and southwest region. The number of deaths, the numbers of runaways, those who have been buried, people are crying, loss of business, loss of their properties. You start talking of 20th May. Where is that unity when killings going on in these two regions? And you come to tell the same people that there is unity. Which unity?
Barrister Christopher Ndong, Secretary General of the CRM political party, speaking there and talking about the way out of the socio-political and security tensions in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Barrister Christopher Ndong thinks that contrary to government's position, notably with regards to issues that are supposed to be on the dialogue table, nothing should be a taboo. Even cessation should be put on the table. But Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Guti says that government is ready to discuss everything except cessation. Take a listen to Barrister Christopher Ndong.
The Prime Minister, after knowing that 2 other Prime Ministers have done that crusade to Bamenda and to the south where it has not yielded fruit, would have changed tactics. The style is the same. The method is the same. It will end up not yielding the fruits because it will fail like the others. 1. 2.
Why is it bound to fail?
It will be bound to fail because the Prime Minister on leaving Yaoundé to Bamenda knows that the children of the people in Bamenda is going to meet are locked up in Yaoundé. To dialogue is to release them. You now move with them to Bamenda and say, my people, your children that were caught and locked up because of this misunderstanding, because these are them. We want now to do an inclusive dialogue. He's not telling us why has he come to the logical conclusion now that federation that was a taboo yesterday, today is to be negotiable. Today, the people have shifted from that one, since you have refused, or to self-defense. Self-defense has pushed them now to independence. They want to separate. You say it's a taboo. It is a mistake. Except if you are going in for dialogue, you don't start choosing from the other side what they should bring to the dialogue table. It's a mistake. Allow them come with all what they have as problems to come and put on the table. Give them that opportunity to debate with the other side, with arbitrators, to see and know the advantages and disadvantages of what they are doing. Caution, try to see what we can take which is good, throw away the one that is bad. You start choosing from my own basket what I should put on the table for discussion. It's not correct. The secessionists have not chosen from the government basket to bring what they have to bring. First of all, they don't have anything to bring. What he should do, the leaders for those people are in prison. The leaders for those people is meeting are abroad. The leaders and children, brothers and sisters of those people are locked up by them. You cannot tie somebody's hands with a big rope, tie it very well. Then you say, monsieur, clap. That man will clap. It's impossible.
Coming up, Smanjik and Gabriel takes us to 2 camps hosting Cameroonian refugees in neighboring Nigeria. Many of them are living in very difficult conditions.
As the government of Cameroon struggles to bring to an end the ongoing crisis in the English-speaking regions, there are many Cameroonians who are now in neighboring Nigeria under the status of refugees as a result of the crisis. At Government Technical College Ogoja, some of the children from Cameroon have just benefited from school uniforms, something that called for joy. In the Boki local government area in Cross River State, precisely at Biajua, Danare 1 and 2, where a good number of the refugees are residing, they were beneficiaries of foodstuffs from the non-governmental organization Aya Foundation.
My name is Enojua. I'm from Bakem village. I've just been managing in Danare. So I've been here since last year, December. I'm living in Danare too. So we are there managing. I'm still survive. Doing job to survive.
The aid, they say, was timely. Apart from the foodstuff, some sewing machines were also handed out to train some of the women.
This time we didn't just come with food stuff, we also came with material to empower them so that they can be able to cater for themselves in the months, in the weeks and months ahead. So we brought some sewing machines, we get some trainers to train them. It's a very difficult situation. It's very pathetic. Not just the hunger, but the insecurity too, even in Nigeria. We are just hoping that the crisis comes to an end as soon as possible so that they can go back to their homes, go back to the comfort of their homes. themselves.
The cry of most of those in the refugee camp is for the crisis to come to an end, for them to return to their normal lives in their different villages back in Cameroon.
At least 9 persons have been confirmed dead and dozens more still missing after a boat carrying several footballers and fans capsized in the western part of Uganda. And the boat was carrying more than 50 football players and fans from western Uganda district of Hoima. And witnesses say overloading and bad weather are probably to be blamed for the accident, and rescue attempts continue. In 2016, about 30 footballers and fans drowned when their boat capsized on Lake Albert, killing more than 20 people. In 2014, 2 boats carrying refugees being repatriated to the Democratic Republic of Congo capsized, and 109 bodies were recovered in Lake Albert. That's it for the first part of this newscast. Coming up next, Talking Point. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us in Talking Points. We are receiving a political analyst. Walang Abang is the director of Mahatma Leadership Center. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the newsroom today, and thanks all the numerous viewers out there who are watching. What's your take on the unity that is being celebrated today in Cameroon? My take on the unity, I'll first of all start by, putting forth these assertions that if you were to ask, to resurrect E.M.L. Indeli, the late Dr. E.M.L. Indeli, and ask him what is his take on unity, you know what he would say. Same with Foncha, Jongo Foncha, and even Muna, who was very close to the government before his death. I think that unity is suffering. Unity is really, really limping in Cameroon. There is a lot of discontent, both at the level of Anglophones and in particular, and the Cameroonian population in general. The Anglophones say they have been cheated for a period of time, and in the Francophone areas in Cameroon, there is this political upheaval, that concerns one major political party that claims to have won the recent elections in 2018, and they were calling, some kind of national action to get back the result, or to get the real result of that election. And a major threat to unity in Cameroon today is coming from the northwest and southwest regions of the country. The problems affecting these two regions, the crisis which has been pulling on for close to 3 years today. Yes, I think that the government is, overlooking the importance of this crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon today, and that is why the crisis has persisted, for 3 years running. And we noticed that people who are concerned, villages where houses have been burned, up to more than 270 villages, serve in radicalizing the people in these areas more. I think that the government should sit and redefine what this Anglophone crisis is all about, if truly we want to consider the issue of national unity and make everybody to buy into that national unity. Mr. Babila, you will remember that the Anglophone crisis, all the burning, all the killing, and all the looting, and the torturing of people, and abduction, kidnapping is taking place because of the problematic nature of 20th May 2017. No, 20th May 1972. 1972. Yes. That was a day that started causing a lot of discontent, and even the then president formed a commission that was headed by the current president, and there was a rapporteur, who has been governor to the northwest and southwest regions, who has a true picture of the report that was handed to Ahijo, with the discontent of the Anglophones that came on that day. Because let us remind Cameroonians, you know, both of French speaking and English expression, that was a day that the federal system of government in Cameroon saw its natural end. It died on that day. And so many people were not in accordance, they were not in agreement with a centralized system where the president was going to have a lot of powers. And you know that the regime of Amadou Ahidjo was a very repressive one. So people could not stand up to talk. Those who were courageous enough to stand up and talk, or who were courageous enough to oppose this so-called reunification, you know, they were either imprisoned, some ran and went out on exile, and they continued militating against decentralization. Not decentralization, the centralization, the over-centralization of powers in Yaoundé. Because all the powers, all the administrative powers that were vested in the states were brought back to Yaoundé. And everybody till today.
With the end of the federal system.
With the end of the federal system. And Cameroonians demonstrated a lot of discontent for going to do everything in Yaoundé. And this has continued, you know. And the system in power, the system in place now, discovered that there was a lot of discontent. And that people came out, you know, through platforms like this to demonstrate clearly, elaborately, with mathematical precision, that the over-centralized system was unproductive.
Are you seeing that is the over-centralized system of government which has killed the unity, which has provoked the ongoing crisis?
Definitely. It is the over-centralized system in Cameroon, you know, that has provoked the Anglophone crisis. Mind you, the Anglophones are people who had a different culture. And in their culture, you know, the different colonial heritage. And in that colonial period, the British applied what we call the indirect rules. The indirect rule. They passed through the chiefs, you know, to administer the people. But after independence, a federal system was put in place in which the Anglophone part of Cameroon, which was called the western part of West Cameroon,
Southern Cameroon.
Southern Cameroon. No, Southern Cameroon was prior to independence. West Cameroon, it was rebaptized West Cameroon after independence, with the Anglo Francophone side called East Cameroon. So in this West Cameroon, they administered themselves in the same way as they were being administered during the British colonial administration. Yes, and when in 1972 this federal system was abolished, they started feeling that they had been fooled, because in the 1961 conference in Fumba, they agreed, and it was expressly that they shall not revisit the constitution that was, you know, that grew out of the Fumban conference, that said Cameroon was going to be a federal state, wherein each federal entity could govern itself, you know, with powers in Yaoundé controlling the whole of Cameroon. So they started feeling that, you know, they had been cheated. They had been cheated beginning from the 20th of May 1972. So this is a very problematic day, that if the powers that be really want to reignite the spirit of unity, it has to be brought on the table. They have to debate on this date and approve, you know, after, I don't know whether they're going to, whether the dialogue that's going to take place, as the Prime Minister says, is going to, you know, finally approve of centralization, of decentralization, or federalism.
Now, today, parades took place. Parades took place in Yaoundé, in Douala, in Buea, in Bamenda, in Kumba, everywhere around the country. Some political parties, notably those of the opposition, the major ones, were absent because they think that there is nothing to celebrate. It is not worth celebrating this day. What do you think about that?
I think that they are right. I think that, you know, if you see what happened in Buea, Kumba, this is not the spirit of the National Day that was celebrated, say, 4 or 5 years ago. A lot is lacking. You see a play of, you know, the military coming out to march, and then a few, you know, schools with a tiny population. This is something that people used to celebrate gladly. I mean, there should be a national day, you know, for unity in Cameroon. It is quite important. But a problematic day like this one, it's, you know, hampers the spirit of national unity. Now, talking about the opposition is angry that there is, you know, no consensual code, electoral code. You know, they know that the current electoral code that is there, you know, will always serve the interests of Mr. Biya. And they're saying that he is there because of the electoral code. The electoral code is almost synonymous to CPDM.
Or the CPP or the MRC called electoral hold up. And of course, the deepening Anglophone crisis.
The deepening Anglophone crisis. So they say there is nothing to celebrate. And I think that the powers that be should look critically into that, and, you know, and redefine the crisis of Cameroon and seek solutions, concrete solutions.
All right. Walang Abang, you are a political analyst, director of the Mahamat Leadership Center. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today.